If we live in a simulation, discovering the truth can destroy the universe. Scientists have concluded that experiments to discover whether humanity lives in an extremely complex simulation could destroy the universe. Is this merely a conspiracy theory, or is it a real threat? Simulation theory, in some form, has existed since ancient times. We are talking about the famous Plato's thought experiment, known today as the Platonic cave. He assumes that people do not see the real world of ideas, only its poor imitation, reflecting on the walls of the cave in which they are chained and immobilized. Since the 1990s, science has eagerly used simulations to try to answer some questions, such as the potential course of wars or the collapse of political systems. The quality of these simulations varies due to the limitations of computers. However, there were researchers who asked a very important question. What if these restrictions did not exist? Philosopher Nick Bostrom raised the issue in 2003 by suggesting that humanity lives in a matrix-like simulation created by an unimaginably more advanced civilization than humans. Bostrom argued that mankind's progress in creating advanced simulations is reason enough to believe even we live in a simulation created by a future civilization. This theory is obviously not widely accepted in the academic community. However, it has some interesting possibilities. As explained by Nobel laureate George Smoot, any anthropologist and historian who wishes to understand the ups and downs of civilization would like to be offered a hyper-realistic simulation. We are talking about millions or billions of artificial human beings. The more precise the simulation, the better it will reflect real events that happened in the distant past. Physicists suggest that a closer examination of the cosmic background radiation could reveal anomalies that would indicate that we are living in a simulation. So far, no experiment has proved anything, so this is a purely theoretical argument. Over the years, there have even been conclusions that it is better not to carry out such experiments as they could destroy the universe. The simulation hypothesis presents one significant risk. For example, if a researcher wants to test the effectiveness of a new drug, it is important that subjects do not know whether they are receiving the real product or a placebo. If they find out the truth, the test is meaningless and must be stopped. As Preston Green, Associate Professor of Philosophy at Nanyang University of Technology, noted, if we can prove beyond a reasonable doubt that we are living in a simulation, it could force our developers to stop and reset it. Since discovering the truth about whether we live in a matrix can be deadly for us, we face a difficult choice: live in ignorance or satisfy our curiosity at the expense of the whole world? Perhaps the fears of scientists are unfounded, and even the discovery that we live in a simulation will not change the theoretical approach of super-developed researchers. There is no certainty that their scientific process would be identical to ours. However, is it worth taking this risk?